Good morning. This lesson is 7.6, Day 2, Proportionality Theorems. During the beginning of this lesson, there will be a warm-up that covers numbers 6 through 14. Please pause the video and work out the problems. When you're finished, check with your neighbors and check these answers online. Answers for number 6. For number 7 and number 8, use the given information to determine whether BD is parallel to AE. If these two segments are parallel, the corresponding sides will be proportional. 3 over 6 would equal 4 over 8, and that is true, so that is a yes. On the second picture, 2 over 1 would have to equal 3 over 1.2. These are not proportional, so BD is not parallel to AE. Number 9. According to the parallel lines proportionality theorem, if 3 lines are parallel and cut by 2 transversals, the respective segments are going to be proportional to each other. So in this case, 5 over x is equal to 2x over 3x. You do have an option of canceling the x's out immediately. So you have 5 over x equals 2 over 3. Cross multiplication gives you 2x equals 15, or x equals 7.5. Number 10. In triangle RIG below, AN is parallel to RI, so you want to mark that picture. They also tell you that IN is 5. What are the lengths of NG and RI? Based on the fact that you have a parallel line that is parallel to the base of the triangle, the 4 segments will be proportional. So we have that RA over AG is equal to IN over NG. The expressions for each of those are 6 over 15 and 5 over NG. Solving, you get NG equals 12.5. Likewise, you can set up this proportion that AG over RG is equal to AN over RI, and that's true in the case of the similar triangles. Solving, 15 over 21 equals 4 over RI. 15 RI equals 84. RI equals 5 and 3/5. For 11 through 14, here are your answers. At this point, you would want to pause your video and grade your homework. I have listed the homework in the Blackboard next to this video. Pause the video now and do your grading. If you have any questions, check with your neighbors, or when I return, I will work with you. The notes for today, the proportionality theorems. Yesterday we had talked about the parallel lines proportionality theorem. Today we're going to talk about the angle bisector proportionality theorem. If a ray bisects an angle of a triangle, then it divides the opposite side into segments whose lengths are proportional to the lengths of the other 2 sides. So when I look at this particular picture, triangle ACB, and I've used segment CD as an angle bisector, this particular problem states that AD, which I've highlighted here, as a ratio over DB is going to be proportional to CA over CB. The reason for this is the fact that CD as a bisector creates congruent angles. Additionally, CD is going to be congruent to itself. You're going to end up with a side angle side similarity situation. In the diagram, they tell you that angle ABD is congruent to angle CBD. And you can see they're marked here. Use the given side lengths to find the lengths of DC. So for in this particular picture, AD will be in a ratio with DC, and AB will be in a ratio with BC. And those ratios will be equal to each other according to the angle bisector proportionality theorem. So in this particular problem, you've got the ratio set up AD over CD equals AB over BC. Setting in the equivalent values, you have 40 minus X for AD because of the segment from A to C equaling 40 and DC equaling X. Subtract the difference and you'll end up with the AD value. CD, of course, is your X, and then you have 24 over 32. You can also choose to simplify 24 over 32 to a reduced ratio, which makes the calculations a little bit easier. Doing cross multiplication, 160 minus 4x equals 3x. Add 4x to both sides, and you will get that x equals 22 and 6/7, which is also the length of DC. So right now you're going to want to pause the video and work through numbers 15 through 19. The answers to 15. You have 4 over 4 equals 8 over x, or x is 8. For number 16, you have corresponding angles that are congruent, so that indicates that all three of these lines are going to be parallel. Following that, we can determine that the segments are going to be proportional. So we have a statement that 2 over 3 is going to equal x over 3.5, which gives me an answer of 2 1/3. Number 17. In this particular problem, you have an isosceles triangle. And mark those like that. So in this particular picture, we also have a 45-90 relationship. These are 45, so these two angles are being bisected as well. So the angle proportionality theorem applies that 5 radical 2 over x will equal 10 over 10. You can reduce the 10 over 10 if you choose to a 1, or you can cross multiply. In this case, I've chosen to cross multiply. And when you divide both sides by 10, you get 5 square root of 2. For number 18, notice that the 110 and the 70 are supplementary. They are same side interior angles, so they are implying that these two segments are going to be parallel. It follows that you can set up the proportion 14 over 6 equals x over 9. Cross multiplication and division gives me an answer of 21. The last problem, in the diagram, angle QPR is congruent to angle RPS, and they've already marked those. Use the given lengths to find the length of RS. So in this particular problem, QS is 15, RS is X. It follows that QR would be 15 minus X. Based on the angle bisector proportionality theorem, you can set x over 15 minus x equals 13 over 7. Cross multiplication with division gives you an answer of 9 3/4, and that represents the length from R to S. Your homework for tonight, page 272, written exercises number 6, 7, 8, 20 through 26. Make sure you have this homework finished for tomorrow.